easier to play through.
Yeah, I think that's rubbish. If you're Man United and you're playing home at Reading and they are obviously going to sit in, but the reason you're playing for Man United is you can deal with that. You can play it through them. Obviously, Reading want Man United to play wide, but you got to get on through the middle. Pass it quicker. We see opportunities here. There's spaces. I mean, Man United, they've mixed it up not bad, don't get me wrong, but in terms of getting at them, for all the possession, they've had 2 shots on target. We see it. Players taking the easy way out. Not sharp enough in their forward passing, not passing in front of teammates. We see people making runs or whatever. It's not good having all this quality if you don't show it. We've seen Maguire once try. Pass it quicker. Pass it in front of your teammate. That's why you're playing for Man United. There's a reason why Reading are sitting in, because they're frightened to death. Get after them.
Is a temptation when you have so much of the ball that you dally on it too long? You take too many touches individually?
Maybe, yeah, and you take the easy option. You know, out wide. I don't say Anthony's playing well. You'd expect him to against this kind of opposition. He's got a lot of ball. He's done a lot of stuff. But the reason why they've got it so low blocked in front of their defence is because they don't want the ball there. So sometimes you've got to play it in there. You've seen good runs. You play it into Vigos, hold the ball, people run off of him, and that is where Reading don't want to be playing. But they're not doing it. They're not passing into those areas. Take the chance.
Manchester United thought they had gone in front. When you just have a look at VAR, the VAR was looking at whether there was a little touch off a Reading player, which would have reset the phase, Joby, but actually there wasn't. And you can say that Weghorst is just offside there, so that when he goes and plays it again, that's when the offence happens.
Yeah, correct decision. And when you're coming away to Old Trafford and working so hard, you do need a little bit of luck, and I think they've got it there, certainly. Lumley, very, very fortunate, doesn't do well enough to get across quickly enough and get down, but there you can see Weghorst in that offside position, and of course the next touch is his, which makes the decision the correct one.
Unbelievably, they had arguably the best chance of the half, Reading, right in front of us, right on half-time, and Junior Hoylett should have done a lot better with it.
Yeah, this is what you dream of, you know, when you come in here and you're again, working so hard. I think he gets taken by surprise. It's like he can't believe his luck. You know, it drops down. Malacia, no idea what he's thinking, just poor touch, doesn't see Hoylett come in. But now is that little bit of composure. Can you get a clean strike? And he just doesn't, does he?
What are these defenders thinking? Honestly, it drives me mad. As if, like, he's surprised somebody's next to him. Switch on, be aware what's around you on a football pitch. It drives me crazy.
You know what that would have been?
It was a bit of a wild strike, I'm afraid, in the end.
It was, you know what? It was one of those, like you know, the bright lights, he saw them. But for me, that, like you said there, Joe, he's just got to get a clean strike. He's so close. You know, he's rushed the strike. But at the same time, Reading and what they've done up to this point, Holmes at the back, you know, some very, very good blocks, you know, which you'd expect them to do. But at the same time, that's exactly what they're playing for, that chance. You know, it was a great opportunity. He's got to do better with that Hoylett.
That was the only touch that Reading had in the Manchester United penalty area in that first half, but it very nearly led to them to...
I think the first half we created. We controlled the game. They had a great opportunity at the end of the first half, which we need to sharpen up on a little bit, because we know we had control of the game. We had numerous chances, numerous opportunities, and we spoke at half-time that patience and we'll get the first goal. And yeah, it was a nice finish from Casemiro.
How good has Casemiro been? How do you sum up his impact since he arrived?
He's been what he's been brought in to do. He's a phenomenal player. He has been throughout his career. You don't win what he's won without being a top player. So he's improved the team, he's improved the morale, he's improved the performance, and it's great to have him.
And for you, you've talked about taking opportunity when you come in. How do you feel he did tonight?
Yeah, I felt I've looked after myself. I think it's 2.5 weeks since my last start, so I've been working hard in training. The lads who's been playing has been doing well. So no, when I get the opportunity, I need to take it and make sure we win. So no, it was nice to be out there and helping the lads, and I'm ready when my chance comes.
And how much pressure do you put on yourself, and how much do you talk to the manager about ensuring you get that chance moving forward?
Well, of course, I'm a player, 29 years old, who I haven't really been in this position in my career, so it's a position that I don't want to get used to, but it's part and parcel of football, and I'm working hard every day. I'm pushing, I'm training well, and when my chance comes, I need to take it. So no, we know at this club we need competition for places. We have some top centre backs at this club, so I think we're all going to be needed from now to the end of the season.
Thanks, Harry.
Thank you.
Nice one, man. Thank you.
You said it at half-time, and that's what they did in the second half, didn't they? Played quicker, and you saw the rewards almost immediately.
Yeah, quicker passes, quicker movement, the pass and the finish, the movement for the first goal was what you want from a Man United team. Quick play. Reading were OK, as we said in the first half, dealing with switches and maybe crosses. Just need to up the pace and getting at them through the middle, because there's a reason why these lads are playing for Reading. They're sometimes comfortable with crosses, but any quick movement in around them, they struggled. We saw that particularly for the first goal, and it was very, very good play from United.
You could see, while everything's in front of them, Joby, they were happy, weren't they? But you could see that just Casemiro a little...
Certainly Manchester United weren't playing with, and it's a brilliant finish, right, once he gets in there.
It's a beautiful finish. I'd give him man of the match for that alone, but I think what you see is once you get into that kind of space like Anthony's got, he's got the quality, and then again, that's the movement you want from the first half. You've just got to look for him. It's just, you know, you pass the ball quicker. Not enough time. Look, he's got so much time. He can do everything there and gets a bit of deflection. But what it is that they seem to be too far back now. Reading, they've dropped too far back, and it's given Man United the space just in front to then pick their passes and choose their.
They almost got too
shots.
Comfortable, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they
were
did.
Doing well, and as soon as you just think, listen, this is not too bad, then the quality teams just go bang bang, 1 or 2 passes, and basically game over.
It's worked for everybody, Casemiro, hasn't it? Because Real Madrid wanted to move him on because they wanted to bring in some younger players, but Manchester United desperately needed somebody of his experience in the position that he is.
Yeah,
everybody wins
He's
here.
been a huge signing. Over the last few years, looking at Man United, particularly in around the middle of the park, they've lacked a quality player, a big personality, a guy with a bit of presence. Again, he's a top quality player. We see it week in, week out. He affects games. Before he came, there was this kind of perception that he was a sitting midfielder because obviously he was working with different players, with Real Madrid players who were more attack-minded, but we now have seen throughout the last few months he's got so much quality as well going forward in terms of a final pass, and he's getting goals as well as been very, very good defensively. So a huge signing for Man United, and he looks like a really big personality, which United needed.
Has Andy Carroll let his manager down this evening?
Massively. You know, we spoke before the game about that experience and those older players that have been on stages like this, coming out and really helping some of the younger ones. And it was actually the younger players, for me, acquitted themselves well. I mean, he's just bundling around. I think by then he was getting...
That was a totting up process.
I mean, this one here, I mean, when you are on a yellow, you cannot be sliding across the ground like that. There's only one thing that's going to happen. He's not in control, and it just makes the job even harder than it was in the first place.
I think he was like, there was one he smashed into Ericsson, which I thought was a booking as well. I just think to myself, why are you going in like you are, simply because they need you to be that focal point, you know? And
but ex-Liverpool, sometimes that plays on your mind, a bit of frustration when you're up there not getting great service, but still for an experienced player, that's fine coming from me. I've never been sent off, but no, he's just a bit more disciplined.
Yeah. They actually played better without him, didn't they? Because you were saying maybe they weren't just looking at him and hitting that diagonal, as it were. They actually tried to play through the pitch a little bit better.
They had to find another way to get up the pitch. And again, listen, by then, you know, when you look at the scoreline, probably Manchester United making changes themselves, take their foot off the gas a little bit. But I felt with Shane Long, they had a better outlet for sure. And they just seem to pass through the lines a little bit better than they did earlier on in the game.
Yeah, Fred gets a lot of stick, doesn't he? And maybe, listen, with Ericsson and Casemiro, Fred will be coming off the bench as he is this evening. And if that is the case, well, he's a pretty good player to come off the bench, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but that's what I think that's probably his role, coming off the bench. Particularly games like this where the game is done. And again, it's Reading fall asleep here to a corner, good ball in. United have looked a bit better in set pieces recently. He just walks in there. He's obviously got a trick, lovely little finish. Poor from Reading, but lovely little finish.
They've got to defend better than that. I think that's the thing Paul Ince would look at today, knowing you're going to come, you're going to be under pressure. If a real moment of quality beats you, someone scores a worldie or, you know, real incisive play, like the first goal, but that was preventable. I feel that all those goals, they could have done a lot better with.
I think that what happens in this instance is that as time goes by, you've got to keep doing the things quicker, faster, because they get tired. You know, they switch off like we saw with the first goal. Like with these, he's just walked into that area and scored a goal, and that's why you've got to keep them under pressure.
Manchester United in 2